Hello dear viewer, I'm Solaire, or at least I strive to be. I'd like to talk about this little thing that's, it's something that's a little bit of, takes a little bit of common sense at this point, but some people find it a little confusing. It's knowing what kind of advice you are looking for and what kind of advice actually works. Knowing what advice you should take. Now, this is a little easy. Of course, this is something that's common to all of us. But some people, there are a lot of areas where we just don't know. Like, let's say you want to gain bigger muscles. You don't go for repetitive actions like just going for 32 reps of 10 kilos or something. While yes, it can strengthen your muscle, it doesn't necessarily make it bigger. Knowing what advice to take. Let's say if you want to make your muscle bigger, you have to go for like heavier weights, like heavy weights, and the ones that you'll only be able to do for like 4 reps. And it's not just when it comes to fitness. Of course, it comes to a lot of things. Let's say if we are going to talk about your situation in, let's say, relationships, friendships, or connections in general, it can be applied to a lot of places. It's something that, for some reason, a lot of people still fail at. Knowing what advice you need is very important. It's something that you need to know about. It's like going for a deficit when you actually know that you need to gain weight. Now, the best way I could describe it, while not using exercising analogies or maybe fitness analogies, is that we all have very different experiences in just about everything. We all have different backgrounds, different experiences, different skills, different appearances, different families, different connections. We have different everything. Our individuality is what causes us to need different advices each time. We don't know what works out for each of us. Though we still need to be understanding that sometimes what works for others might work for us as well. So we have to be understanding. We have to listen. But sometimes we have to know which advice not to take. Let's say that maybe you're thinking, she's a type that the person that I'm trying to pursue is someone that really likes the attention. Oh yeah, just keep pursuing her, or something. You don't know what actually works out for you, or what even works out for her, because each scenario requires a different advice, or maybe it really is depending on the context or the situation itself. Knowing the advice that you need to take is something that takes knowledge in the general area that you're talking about. Let's say that you're going to talk about relationships and the type of people that, let's say you're trying to pursue someone. You have to know what kind of people you're talking about. Let's say that the person I like is that person that is also kind of a hoe, or maybe a man whore or something. I shouldn't have laughed at that. That is something that shouldn't be laughed at too much. But yeah, you got my point. It really depends on the type of person, what type of person you are, your appearances, your interest, her interest, his or her interest. You should know basically everything about the situation. You have to research. Man, that sounds a little more complicated and a lot more tedious. But before you even try to act, you have to know what to do. Or if you're going to give an advice overall, you have to at least be knowledgeable. There are specific areas in which we are much more knowledgeable than others. To me, I think that it's Uh, nah, I'm not that special. I don't think that I'm very, very special. So, you have to find your niche, basically. What you are good at is something that will be valuable information for others. What you know is valuable for others, very. So, why not help them? Maybe you can even start your own business by sharing knowledge. There are a lot of people nowadays that say, I'll give you, you pay me, I will give you knowledge. Those are basically like colleges, private schools, basically. Having knowledge itself is such a huge advantage. Knowing what advice to give is also knowledge, is also very helpful. Now, being knowledgeable itself can go a long way. It includes, of course, advices. It's but it's just not just advices, of course. It branches out on a lot of areas. So be knowledgeable in a lot of areas. I recommend for you to be knowledgeable in a lot of areas, you should listen to TED Talks. Basically, go to Spotify, listen to TED Talks daily. It's basically a podcast where a lot of people talk about either their companies, their pursuits, their experiences on different areas. They will give you information for things like women healthcare in sports, because it's unemphasized. It's more likely to be unemphasized. Doctors that take care of athletes are more likely to not know how to deal with athletes that are female, like checking their menstrual cycle and stuff. Having a lot of knowledge will make you a little more unstoppable each time. Not saying that it can be a weapon. That isn't the right term. Knowledge can be a weapon. It just doesn't have to be necessarily a weapon. Knowledge is something that everyone has to have. Because, of course, who doesn't want knowledge? People are lazy, basically. But it's not just you're helping. I want you to think about the people that actually need that knowledge. I have helped so many people. I have talked to so many people. I basically became knowledgeable at that point about how people usually act. I'm not going to say I'm the best at it, or that I'm better than you at it, but rather, these kinds of experiences give me so much knowledge that I can give advice to a lot of people, help them out, give them a good insight, and basically just make their life a little better. Mentally, maybe physically. But remember, even though if you give so many advices to one person, the change is still up to them. You can't really decide that, whether they apply your advices or not, which is the unfortunate part. But that's also something that we have to accept. But you tried, right? That's what's important most of the time. You tried. Now I want you to try to make a smaller change each time. Be more knowledgeable. Listen to TED Talks daily, or maybe watch the YouTube channel of TED Talks. It's such a great channel. It's very successful and very helpful as well. It can make you unstoppable in very random topics. Alright? You never know when someone actually needs that random knowledge. Like, maybe you don't know whether or not you should say you're sexually active or not when you haven't been having sex, but you have been masturbating. When, let's say, a doctor talked to you about it. Did you know that you were supposed to say no if you haven't had sex but you were masturbating? Because there are specifics that are looking for, like let's say chemical reaction inside your brain when you are having sex with an actual person. Now, this knowledge is a little random, but it would have been able to help out a lot of people at the right time, at the right spot, at very specific scenarios. The more you add knowledge to yourself, the more you will be prepared for the most unexpected shit. Now, this is gonna be the end of the video. I had a hard time trying to do this because, first of all, the distance from me and the camera is a little far. It is somewhat my fault. I could just move the couch. And second thing, I don't have the squishmallows, unfortunately. Damn. They're upstairs. I don't really want to disturb my siblings. So, I just went on ahead and did this where everyone is alone. Actually, my sibling was right there, but she decided to go upstairs. Again, having no fear and being exposed and doing shit like this, it really makes you a lot more unstoppable each day. Now, it's like confusing anxiety and excitement. I am that person. I confuse anxiety from excitement. When I usually do that, I think to myself, that's definitely excitement. Because I am more likely to do something better for myself. I'm more likely to take risk and actually do it if I think that it is excitement. If you actually do it, you gain a lot more. Except if you're not. If it's something that basically is detrimental or gives you disadvantages. Maybe it's like gambling or so. But still, risks are good, but not all risks are good. You have to choose the right risk. Maybe I should talk about that in the next video. Alright, I enjoyed this one because I haven't had so much, I haven't had as much mental block as usual. This, I think, is one of the best I've made. But I think that I could still be better. Like, again, you are barely hearing me, though the captions will carry you through. I will learn from my mistakes. If I get my paycheck, I will have a job. If I get a paycheck, I will pay for a microphone and talk on the mic. The quality of the videos will get better and better. Eventually, it will reach a certain point where it's, how would I say this? It's more acceptable to as eye candy as well as eye candy. Yeah, and thank you for watching up to this long. I really appreciate your support, and I really appreciate the fact that you've listened up to this far. Bye bye.